we couldn't go all summer and not talk about the draft, right? Or the schedule or anything at all. We got to do something. And welcome in, folks. It is Out of Your Falcon Mind. I'm used to saying episode number, then Out of Your Falcon Mind, but it's not really technically, I guess, an episode. I mean, it is, but, more of a special, maybe, an evening with, or maybe, possibly. I don't know, however you want to determine. But, hey, we will have, obviously, you got my boy Saivion here with me, and Thon, Falcons Drip. If y'all are familiar with Falcons Drip, Instagram account, one of the best Instagram Falcons account that there is. He's going to be hopping on here soon, just running a little bit late. But he hit me up after the draft. I was like, man, we got to talk about this draft and whatnot, and the undrafted free agents that we ended up picking up. And I was like, yeah, definitely, man. Well, I'm all about it. Schedule's just been nuts as usual. So here we are, almost 3 weeks after the draft. It's okay. Yeah. Fine about it. It's all good. But man, we did talk at the draft show, buddy. But it's been a while, man. How the hell you been, dude?
Been fantastic, man. Honestly, a whole lot of optimism that I was not expecting to have about this Falcons team, especially given where we were. Like I don't know. Especially like given like how Terry Fontenot was pre-draft, like all the other drafts beforehand. I didn't really have high hopes for this one. I was just like, he's probably gonna peter out, and we'll get 4 guys that we've heard of, but we're just like, they don't really inspire much confidence. Instead, we've got 4 guys that not only have we heard of, we looked at and we're like, oh, these would we see fits for these guys immediately. So I'm quite excited to talk about this. Because I didn't expect Terry to kind of cook like this, but he cooked a little bit.
I mean, it was like, all right, man, if I'm going out swinging like a motherfucker.
Exactly.
You need pass rushers. Here's your 2 pass rushers. Like, okay, you need a good safety. Here's basically what would have been a second round safety that's going in third. Like, all right, here's your guy. You can slide in next to Jesse. Now you guys go make it work. You know what I mean? So I was totally fine. We'll get more into it, but I mean, when we were on draft night, right, and Jalen kept falling.
You remember how we were? We were just sitting here like
we were worried. We were like,
there's a chance here.
Yeah, but we were worried because there's so many options. Like, what do we do? Like, and we're so used to if there's that many options, something bad is going to happen. You know what I mean? Like something's going to go wrong.
I was so ready for us to pick like a Josh Simmons. Like I mentally prepared myself for, we're going to pick somebody who's not going to be able to contribute immediately. I just know we are. I don't know who it is. I don't know whether it's going to be Josh Simmons. I don't know. Like it was a breath of fresh air to see Terry Fontenot do the thing that we just wanted him to do.
Absolutely. Oh, what's up, buddy?
My dog.
Oh, yeah.
Let me guess. Were you coaching tonight?
What?
Were you coaching tonight?
Not coaching. My son had hockey. It's like he's 4. So like.
You skated around?
Yeah, he was skating. I was coaching him from the. I'm not allowed on the ice, but I certainly made my way into the team box and was yelling at him from there. So,
yeah, well, good job. Yeah,
good job. At 4 years old, what does hockey look like? Is it just is you just beat them up, rough them up at that point?
Yeah, so it depends on if you're asking my son and my nephew. So I've got 2 nephews who are also 4, and my son and my nephew literally get on the ice and they're decent. But they just literally love running into each other, knocking people over, and then my other nephew who's 4 is like, you'd think besides the fact that he's the shortest and smallest of the 3 of them, he looks like he's like 2.5. he is unbelievable on skates. Like,
wow.
Yeah, like you'd think he like the way he moves like a 12-year-old probably, and he's 4. It's like it's honestly insane. Yeah,
got an NIL deal in his future.
Honestly, like once my brother realized how good he is on skates, he like started getting him out there. Like they go every day. Like there's no.
Yeah, why not?
The high school coach in this area like does like private lessons with him because he's so like just trying. So we'll see what happens, but.
Yeah, well, that's awesome, man. Well, I appreciate you coming. Like I told everybody when we started that you and I have been trying to do this for like 3 weeks now, and it's like it's between my kids' baseball and your kids' stuff, hockey, t-ball, whatever you got going on. Everything. It's just been crazy, and we luckily this week it worked out where Liam got to throw. He threw his bullpen. Normally he throws it Thursday night and has practice as well.
Okay.
But we have a game tomorrow night. So he threw his bullpen yesterday. So we got that cleared away. And this is the first free Thursday or just a free night in a long time I can remember. So I was like, dude, we got to jump on it tonight. And called Saivion earlier. And I was like, dude, are you free? And he was like, actually, I am completely free.
I don't know how, but yeah, it works.
Yeah. And I should say too, before we get too far in there, Mike is doing great. Everybody asked about Mike after the draft show. He's doing good. He's traveling for work as usual. Dude travels a lot now for work. But he's doing great. He just couldn't make it tonight. And he's excited about the schedule. Y'all know he's going to predict, undefeated.
17-0.
Yeah, y'all know that already. So I've sent him some videos on our draft picks so he can get up to speed on who they are and what they did, look forward to. So he knows it because he had no idea who those people were when we drafted him. But and we're still working on. We have another channel we're working on, and we just got the artwork done, and we'll get more of that into that as it gets said. We were trying to do that earlier in the year, and it's just it's been impossible. But we're working on it, and people kept asking, "We coming back? We coming back?" That's the hope. I mean, the hope is we come back in the fall or just before the season starts. That's we're crossing our fingers. We don't know schedule wise and work wise and all that good stuff, but that we would love to come back and do it because we do miss it and we miss hanging out with everybody. And speaking of that, let me jump in the chat real quick. What up, Jamal? Good to see you, buddy. Chase, what's up, man? If this is Chase, I assume it is. What's going on, man? Yeah, it was a hell of a draft, dude. John, what's going on, Big John? Oh, look who Berto. Look at you, buddy.
Berto. What's going on, y'all?
Same value. Yes, they did, buddy. D, what's up, man? Good to see you. King, what's going on? King Richie.
Man.
He said Terry C cooled off a lot after this draft. Yeah, man.
I don't know about a lot.
I mean, it cooled off. It cooled.
It cooled because it was heated.
Yeah, he's not over like the big burner right now. Like they turned it down. Carrie, what's going on?
Carrie.
Excited for the show. Thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah, I got to remember. I told Sam, I got to remember how to like host. I remember how to like do everything on StreamYard. It's the draft show was easy. I just logged in and like everybody just came in. There was like, 10 people just talking. So that was easy.
There's nuance now.
Now I have to actually do the show. So that's a totally different. And I've been, I've been on with doing with T-Will, on For My Atlanta Sports. So make sure y'all follow him, by the way. He's on literally every single day. And Kerry does a phenomenal job with One Time for the Fan and on his show. And so me and T-Wheel, we've been talking Braves for the last, a couple months, and we haven't even had a chance to do that show because it's been work's been a little nuts. But that's the one. But I don't have to host that show. I just have to sit there and listen and talk Braves. So it's pretty easy for me. Jim, hey, what's going on? But yeah, man, good to see you, dude. Marlon, what's up, dude? Good to see you, man. No one, you gotta apologize, man. Hey, we're just around for the first time in a long time, so never apologize. We're glad you're here. Yeah, man. He's on. He shows up for Bolt Bros, and so y'all, we've done so many collaboration with the Bolt Bros. We've got fans from. And I shouldn't say fans. We've got supporters from the Chargers, which is cool. We have a great relationship with them, so it's fun, man. That could have been. What's going on?
I like to call everybody like part of the community.
There you go. Community. That's a great way to put it. Yeah. Back at Benjamin had a phenomenal chat with my freaking, if you're still, remind me because my brain's just like great Atlanta Falcons running back, older guy. Now my brain's just going on me. But hey,
Michael
remind
Turner?
me. No, older.
Andrews?
Oh God.
Yes.
Andrews?
Yes,
Yeah.
William Andrews. Yes. Phenomenal interview with him. Make sure y'all check that out. Great.
Very cool.
Yeah, and Skimmer said this defense is looking stacked. Yeah, it is, man. Yeah, William Andrews. Yeah, phenomenal interview. And really enjoyed it. I shared it on my Twitter account. If y'all go to Out of Your F and Mine on Twitter or X, whatever, you'll find it. So anyway, all right, boys. Twitter, always Twitter. All right, so the draft, right? So with our first pick, we took Jalen Wall. Yeah, so just Saivion, we like I said, we just talked about how we were feeling going into it and what we thought was going to maybe happen, and then he took Jalen. And how are you? I mean, number one, I think I know how you felt, but you tell everybody else how you felt, and then how you see him being used in this defense.
So, of course, I was just ecstatic because that is a top 10 talent that somehow, some way got overthought, what is it? GMs were overthinking and let him fall to 15. And even just letting him fall, there were a lot of people that were like the value of Jalen Walker at like 4 to like New England, and comparing that to the value of him at like 15, it's a much better, safer bet. Because when you're at 4, you have like this, there's not really much of a development that you can have for somebody. If you get somebody at 4, it's like, listen, you need to be on the field and you need to be able to, contribute now. Mm-hmm. Not saying that he's not going to be expected to contribute, but you can have more of a plan with somebody when you draft them in the middle of the first round, and it'd be like deemed a bit more okay than like if you were drafted like top 5. Having him being able to be an edge rusher first and then kind of inching him backwards sort of into the linebacking room. Mm-hmm. I am optimistic about how he can do that because we've seen him move from sideline to sideline. He has ridiculous speed going sideline to sideline, and he has ridiculous speed and power for his size when rushing the quarterback. I think he's everything that you want in Caden Ellis and a little bit more. It's just about seeing what he is as a coverage guy that I'm kind of concerned about. But here's the thing. You're not really using him in coverage much unless he's like unless you like are forced to, like you're trying to get somebody else or you're trying to get somebody else to the quarterback or something like that. Like he's definitely going to be 90% of his game is going to be towards the quarterback. So you found a guy that can get to the quarterback consistently with your first draft pick. I think that's a win in my book.
Yeah. Yeah. And then did you see the clip from the combine interview when Terry asked him if somebody asked you what position you play or, what would you say? And he said, I tell them I play defense. It's phenomenal.
Now,
such a great answer.
Now here's my thing with that. The last person that I can remember saying that was Isaiah Simmons from Clemson. Mm-hmm. It's not the same. It's not the same, but it is a bit like, okay, cool. So you realize that you're a bit of a tweener. Mm-hmm. Awesome. That lets me know that that, hey, I don't really have a set spot at the next level, but I am prepared to go wherever I need to go.
Yep. Yeah. Thon, what'd you say, buddy?
And that's what worries me is just the whole tweener thing, right? Because he's like build wise, he's not quite edge rusher like build. I'm floored by the pick. I don't think I would have, again, without knowing anything, I probably would have taken Mike Green, but I don't know. We're not privy to the off-field stuff. We're not privy to but just talent.
Whatever it is, it must be awful.
Yeah, it must be pretty bad. But that's probably the direction I would have gone. I'm thrilled though with Jalen Walker. I think he's a little, that's the part that scares me is just like, does he get stuck as a tweener? But I think he can be an awesome off the ball linebacker. It just might take a little bit longer than what fans expect. It might not too. He might come right in and day one just be, because mentally he's going to be that guy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. First interview I saw, I'm like, man, that's a future team captain right there.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
sure. But like, it would not shock me, and I know we haven't talked about him yet, but it would not shock me if year one, James Pierce outperformed Jalen Walker. But I think in the long run, Jalen Walker will mean more to the Falcons than Pierce will.
Yeah, I get. That makes total sense, man. Georgia, Texas boy, what's up, man? He said, "New era of the Atlanta Falcons will rise." I'm all about it. Big Low, what's up, buddy? Been a while, man. It's been a while. Good to see you, dude. Yeah, I mean, that, a lot of the fans want to basically say like he's our Micah Parsons type of guy, and I get that because Micah does rush a lot, obviously, and he does, kind of play all over the place. I thought Jalen, he got better and better each year in his career at Georgia. Mm-hmm. I mean, like being a college football fan, I've seen damn near all of his games, and saying the same for James Pierce, seen a ton of his games too, which we'll get into in a second. Yeah. But yeah, I think we see the picks and we all want to be like, man, instant impact. And I do think he'll have an instant impact. But I mean, like you said, Thon, like it's still a jump. It's still the NFL. It's still a different game. It's still, you're not going to go against any tackles or guards that, you can easily just win on athleticism alone, right? You can bully, right? Mm-hmm. There's going to be that adjustment that every player is going to go through. I just think with his mental makeup, he's going to make those adjustments maybe quicker than others, and that's what separates the really great players from the good players, so not so good players. We're going to get stuck, but how fast can you get out of that? How fast can you figure it out to move? Mm-hmm. And I think that he'll be just fine. Yeah. And then James Pierce, so 23, right? He was projected to be like top 5, maybe even the top pick, right? Because it's an amazing 23 season. 24 is okay, not maybe as good as 23 was, statistically at least. Then the stuff comes out about his character, supposedly, and this shit happens every year, right? Some guy or multiple guys. And look, now Mike Green stuff, that's documented. That's a whole other thing. I'm talking about like guys that just hearsay, right? Or like he was a problem in the locker room, or he was an issue. Like all that stuff is what that stuff didn't make any sense to me. Because then you look at it and you're like, or you when you look into it, in all the coaches that were asked, I mean, was he like a perfect citizen? Probably not. But that's okay, right? I mean, like he didn't have to be like we're so used to it as Falcons fans, as the Falcon way or whatever, of taking like the most perfect people ever, supposedly. I get that, but dude, you have to have a guy with an edge every now and then to him, like that can. As long as he's not doing terrible stuff off the field, which it doesn't look like he was. Like he had a traffic stop for something, I think, didn't cooperate with the police, something like that, which is not great, but it's also not like he didn't go abuse somebody. You know what I mean? Like there are levels to this stuff. You know what I mean? There are levels. Can you talk to is it an immaturity thing? Can the coaches talk to him and be like, hey, man, clearly that was dumb, and we know they spent a ton of time with his family, with his mother. They talk, and believe me, man, they got investigators. They've talked to everybody around this dude, from his friends to everybody, to learn about him. So, and I think they were prepared to take him at 15. Mm-hmm. I just think that Jalen fell to them. They're like, well, we can't pass this up. And then he kept falling. So we're like, well, hey, let's just jump back in and grab him when we can, and because watching him at Tennessee, and Saivion, I'll let you go in a second. Mm-hmm. Hang on one second. I didn't even see. Man, what are you doing, Big Low?
What's going on, fellas?
What?
Oh my goodness!
What in the world, bro?
What in the world, bro?
Did not even know you were coming. What's going on, buddy?
Man, shoot, bro. Look, I seen you put the link up on Twitter. I'm like, wait a minute, you done got Saivion on here? I'm like, oh yeah, I gotta slide through.
Oh man, yeah, dude, yeah. I had to. It was literally like a last minute, like, hey, we're all free. Let's do it. Let's get on there and get after it, man.
There you go, man. There you go. Y'all doing all right tonight?
Yeah, man, doing good, buddy. Just excited about this Falcons team, man. Like I don't know, like I said, we're all excited and somewhat worried about the excitement at the same time. You know what I'm saying? So,
bro. Look, man. Look, I apologize. I ain't on camera. I'm actually down in the country, so I'm driving right now. So I apologize. I ain't, but yeah, I know y'all were just talking. What'd you say?
They say the country that's spelled with a K, right?
Yeah. Hello. You already know what time it is. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, nah, y'all just talking about James Pierce. So as we were going through the whole college recruitment thing with my little cousin, I mean, bro, I ate with James Pierce 3 or 4 times and watched him practice a lot of times. And, I think the thing with him, I think he's just a little different. I'm pretty sure y'all can tell from that interview with Torrey McElhaney, he's not He's not gonna filibuster you, right? He ain't gonna talk you. He ain't gonna talk your head off.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah, exactly. Like so, I feel like we legitimately got to steal with him. You know, like I said, I know people say he don't get along with coaches. I know Coach Gardner, the defensive line coach up there in Tennessee, he used to be the defensive line coach in Georgia. He's real tough on his guys, and I've watched whenever he dug in his behind a few times, and I mean he responded well. Like he responded like a coach would want a player to respond. Like, does he get fired up? Yes, he does. But in all honesty, I think he's the perfect thing that we need on this team.
Yeah, because you would rather have that, right, than the guy who the opposite. Like, I mean, I use my son as an example. Like, when he gets taken out of the game for whatever reason, like he's pissed, right? He's angry, and the coach knows he's pissed. But he told him, he was like, dude, that's great because you care, obviously. Like, if he's just handing him the ball and like walking down, like, all right, well, next guy up, then that's not exactly the mentality you want, and especially playing football, playing edge, like. I'm fine if you, and this is like now you're in the pros, dude. So there's a level that you're not like you can't really get away with some shit you might have got away with in college. So
yeah,
I mean, I think he'll have a good relationship with Jeff Ulbrich and Nate. I think Nate Ollie too. I mean, like, man, the success that guy's had, like he'd be a fool not to, try to just soak everything he can up from him and then learn from the guys that are already here, obviously. But yeah, I mean, I didn't all the noise that came on around that. I mean, I try not to even make it a judgment on it because you don't know. A lot of that stuff it's just crap to stir things up, or GMs put stuff out there media, and y'all know how the media is. I mean, as soon as something drops or they hear something, they want to be the first one to put it out there. Then they get clicks and they get reads and all this stuff. So that's just how it works. But I mean,
like when's the last time we had guys that are like a little nasty, and now we got two of them right in the first round. Now that our stars have been like, great players. They've been, great off the field, great on the field, but none of them like, really talk the talk and walk the walk and make the big hits. Like when they're bringing people down, they're bringing them down with aggression, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like we've got two guys that can totally change the culture. One by his play and his leadership, and one more by his play, and that's okay.
Yeah, and like when he came into Tennessee, skinny guy, lanky, all speed, and I mean explosive speed, like fast as shit type of dude. Like that's what made him. That's why he was a 4-star recruit. Mm-hmm. And then second year, put on some weight, learned some technique, and just really kind of exploded. And he can still probably gain some weight. Like and he still can. Like he's not. I mean, by no means, I think, is he done growing as a player. Like he's still got a lot to go. But those are the type of guys you do take a risk on because you see the number one, the build, the athleticism that he has, the traits that he has, and the success he had at college in the SEC. Against really, really good players. I mean, that's what you want. That's kind of the prototype of guy you want to come in. And like I said, you have the tweener. Now you got your true edge. He's definitely like he's not going to be backing off and playing linebacker. He's going to be your edge, right? So, I mean, I just think it was phenomenal. And the folks that got pissed off about it for giving up a first next year. I mean, you moved up 20 picks. You mean like you're going to have to? I mean, like it wasn't like just here give you you moved up 20 spots to get back into the first. So
the reason why that looked so bad was because what was it? New York went up the pick before us. And they only gave up 2/3. Right? They gave up 2/3, and that was it. Mm. So, in comparison, even what Howie Roseman said in his thing, what Howie Roseman said in his thing, he was like, "No wonder nobody's nobody's calling us back." Yeah, if they're going to give up they're going to give up a first rounder. Howie Roseman's not giving up no first rounder,
right?
But let's be honest, Terry's job is on the line, and. Quite honestly, yes, his seat may have died down, but he needs results now. He needs to make the playoffs now. And I think what people don't like is James Pierce Jr. getting you to the playoffs this year, right? Because he is a rookie edge, and like my guy Trayshawn, shout out to him, shout out my boy Trayshawn Diaz at the Falcoholic. He always points out, rookies don't necessarily come out of the gates firing, and I feel like that's kind of why everybody's like, why did you give up this first whenever you need a guy now? But it's like, what else are you going to do? Like, I'm probably not going to be here next year. Exactly. So let's say, so let's say this guy doesn't do what I need him to do. Let's say he's not the prince that was promised, I guess, at 26, and he doesn't get you that type of impact or whatever. I'm going to be out here anyway. So if I'm going to be out of here either way, why not go and get a guy that I am sure of? And while that may not be, even though he always says he does what's best for the Falcons, listen, Terry, I understand. We know. Listen, your job's on the line. You're doing what you believe in. If you go out swinging, I can't be mad at it. Okay, right. I can't be mad at it because you do what you always do. You're very aggressive. You went out with aggression. It's just Terry being Terry, and hopefully it works.
Have any of y'all ever watched Top Chef?
Yeah,
a couple times.
So at the end, like at the end of the episode, where Gordon Ramsay, tells them they got to do a face-off, they got to make the meal of their life.
Yeah.
Have you ever noticed that at the end, whenever they kick them out the kitchen, they never make them clean the dishes, right?
Right.
That's basically what's going on with Terry Fontenot. Terry Fontenot is making the meal of his life right now, and he's leaving the dishes for the next man to clean if it doesn't work. If he's not here next year, let's just call it. I would do the same thing. I'd be like, I don't care. We'll worry about next year when it gets here.
100%.
I think that's what it is. I would do the exact same thing. Like, listen, I was going to get this guy like Berto's saying, I was going to get this guy at 15 and he's still here at 26. I have this relationship with the Rams. They're probably the only ones that are picking up right now. Sure. Let's do it.
I actually, like, even if my job was on the line, like, I still liked it because in this draft, it was the second round was so deep. You knew you had a good chance to get a second round talent in the third round. But also too, like, then the talent of James Pierce, he's a top 5 talent in the draft with some question marks, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if you're thinking long run, even, again, like you said, he might not be it next year, but in 2 years, you're hoping he really is. And in 2 years, we can get out from the Kirk Cousins money. We're still Penix on his rookie deal. We haven't signed Drake London to a huge contract yet. Like, we'll probably have some more money in 2026. Mm-hmm. So if you're thinking 2026, this is an excellent move because, like you said, Trayshawn said, like, you're not bringing these two guys in expecting to be 10 sack guys this year. I mean, it'd be amazing if they were, don't get me wrong. I'm hoping one of them is, but you're hoping for 2026 because if you take an edge rusher next year, now Jalen's ready in 2026 and that guy's not ready till 27. So in theory.
Yeah. No, it makes total sense to me. And I mean, I understand, like, you go with the next year's, but like you just said, you got 2 essentially top 10, 15 talents this year. Mm-hmm. So, and you just happen to get them, one at 15 and one at 26. And by God, please make the fucking playoffs so we don't have to worry about drafting. You know what I mean? Like, we're gonna draft at some, hopefully later in the draft next year. So it
shouldn't matter. Yeah,
it shouldn't matter. Let's cross everything that we have that it doesn't matter for once. But I mean, Lo, how's everybody, like, how with your shows, like, has number one? Let me get to Berto's question first. Saivion, how would you have felt if we took JPJ at 15 when Jalen on the board?
I wouldn't have liked it. I would have thought it would be a missed opportunity.
Yeah, I think me too.
I think it would have been a missed opportunity.
Yeah, I think you take me too. I would have. I mean, I guess I would have understood if that's really the guy that you have pegged. But I think passing up on a guy like Jalen, the potential that he has, would have been just. Not to mention every UGA fan would have just thrown their shit out the windows and broke stuff and probably rioted.
Not to mention, like, you just got rid of Grady. Like, you don't. Right. And this is going to sound stupid. You don't have that guy that's in the off season right now that that you see and it's like, oh, he's back in the weight room. Football season's back. Like, that's what Grady was. When you saw Grady, when Grady put out that tweet or whatever it was, an Instagram post that he was back in the weight room, you knew that Falcons football was back. because you knew that Grady Jarrett was giving his 100%, and as soon as he started, that's when the football season starts.
Mm-hmm.
You have that guy again in Jalen Walker, and you cannot tell me that does not, hearing him talk, you cannot tell me that does not, even if you don't want to admit it, that it doesn't lower the blow of losing Grady, even just a little bit, because that's what it did for me. It as soon as I heard him speak, I said, that's why. We got us a leader of the defense again. That's who this kid is.
Yep.
Never mind the fact that he's, just an insane talent that could play at Pro Bowl levels at two different positions. No, it's the fact that, he is a true leader in the locker room.
Yeah, I'll tell them a huge part of it. And like I said, I definitely would that have been a missed opportunity for me. I think all of us probably feels the same way about that. But yeah, Lo, with your shows, man, how's the vibes? Everybody likes. I mean, is it from positivity to negativity? Like, how's it going this year compared to last year?
Well, I'm gonna tell you, John. Like, so I've been doing like YouTube. I would say like 3 or 4 years, like on my own show, consistently. And this is the most positive that I've seen Atlanta Falcons fans be about a draft class. I've never seen. I mean, like because if you look back, the last few years, people kind of scratched their heads a little bit. They scratched their heads about Michael Penix and Bijan Robinson.
Not scratch his head.
Drake, Kyle Pitts. Yeah, So I mean, then it being a Georgia Bulldog on top of it. I mean, I've seen very little negative feedback in regards to what the Falcons have done, and it's crazy. Saivion mentioned Grady Jarrett. It's crazy because I was expecting for everyone to act like the sky was falling whenever we let Grady Jarrett go, but it was like a 50-50 kind of situation. Some people were just like, hey, I mean, it might be time for a change. This whole time where we haven't gotten consistent pass rush, he's been here, and the only time we got it consistently from him was in the Super Bowl, unfortunately, and that wasn't enough. But I know, I mean, a lot of people said, it may just have been time. I mean, maybe it was just time to clean everything out and try something different. I mean, I've never seen it this positive before. There you go, Falcons.
I was devastated.
You was devastated, man. It hurt. I ain't gonna lie, it hurt.
Yeah,
it was
man.
Like the last. Go ahead.
No, I was saying, I mean, from a personal standpoint, just, I mean, local kid, everything he's done at this, like you said, Low should have done enough to win a Super Bowl. Like, just that hurt, that part of it. The guy he is as a person, that hurt bad. But like, the business side of it, I totally understand it. I get it.
Saved a good chunk of change.
A good chunk of change, no doubt about it. And you have a guy in Rook that you hope that's who that becomes, or even at a higher level. Like he's he's a very twitched up big dude inside there that you saw flashes last year. Obviously he just needs to hone those skills a little bit, and maybe he turns into something that, maybe even better than Grady. But I mean, that's the most of the vibe I've got. Like, I haven't been, I don't get on Twitter as much as I used, like when we were doing the show on a regular basis.
It's good. Keep that up,
dude. It's like, even when I get on there, I get off almost immediately because it's like, I'm so, like, the politics and just all the dumb, like, I can't.
Telling you.
I was like, dude, I don't want to get off on that tangent. But I mean, that's why I just don't use it that much. But when I was on there, my point was, it seemed like everybody was really happy. Like, it seemed like, for the most part, it seemed like everybody was really happy and on the same page. And there was very few, unless you just have an agenda against Terry and you're going to bash him no matter what. It seemed like everybody was.
Which there are guys that do that.
There absolutely are. Then everybody's pretty happy about it. So I was like, that's cool. Ashley, what's up? Good to see you.
When you look at it,
Mr. Smith.
Because I think between cutting David Onyemata and Grady Jarrett, it was about like a $10 million difference. So it was basically, if you look at it this way, it's basically you can cut Grady Jarrett and sign Leonard Floyd, or you can cut David Onyemata. So you basically had to pick between the two.
Right.
Like, and only one of them gives you enough size on the inside to where you can be like, I mean, this can work as a what is it? One tech. So
Yeah, we didn't talk about. I mean, Leonard Floyd coming in too as a free agent. I mean, great guy to have as far as for James Pierce to learn from, right? I mean, like similar build, similar stature, like gonna have. Yeah, I mean, he's gonna. I mean, he can probably share a lot of knowledge with him. Sorry, Pickle, what's up, dude? It's hilarious, man. This shit about Lowe being on a fishing boat.
Man, I'm sorry, y'all. I'm so sorry. I'm driving, man. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to mess up the audio, y'all. I'm sorry.
No, dude, that's for you being in the country right now. It actually sounds really damn good, to be honest with you. Like it's just like that.
Yeah, I'm just glad we can hear you. Like that is the thing. Once you're in the country, there are no power lines out there. It's just you and nature.
You ain't never lied, bro.
That's right. Hey, and Berto make a good point. Javon Curse, man. If y'all old enough to remember Javon Curse, the Freak, right? The original Freak.
It's literally called the Freak, though.
I mean, I had a poster on my wall. I mean, that said the Freak, and that was him. It was like I had two non-Falcons on my wall at that time. I had him and I had Champ Bailey as a Redskin. That they were two guys that I just loved to watch play, no matter what.
John, I want to ask you a question, if it was okay. I was wondering, because it's interesting that y'all mentioned the Freak. Yeah, I know that you're, and for everyone that doesn't know, first of all, John Yates he's a beast. Like if you meet John Yates in person, like John Yates is, he I'm trying to describe it in the best way without saying pause, but John Yates he's a beast, right? And so y'all don't know, like he studied exercise science and everything like that. He was a trainer for years. So if anybody wants to get into training, then hit John Yates. Just send my 15%, John. But the thing is that I had a question about James Pierce, because I know some people said that his frame is a little small. I was looking at him. I was saying, shoot, I think you could get him up to 260, 265, and he could still have that same sort of explosiveness. I was wondering what you thought about that, because his frame looked like it could fill out a little bit.
Look, man, me and James Pierce are nothing alike as far as body types, right? So, like, I mean, but saying that, when I graduated high school, I was 6'1". I was still 6'1", 150 pounds. Like, I was a freaking thin, like, rail, right? I was fast and quick as shit, but I had no weight on me whatsoever. Like, I was Deshaun Jackson getting blown up every other week. So, like, yeah, he can definitely put on, because I mean, my point was, I mean, at my heaviest, when I was really getting after it, I got to 225, and I was still pretty fast, still pretty cool. I'm probably not as quick. Clearly, that's 75 pounds, right? That's a big difference, and that was over the course of 10 years. But with a dude like that, man, with his height, with his frame, no, he can put on. I'm totally with you. He can get to 260 for sure. I mean, and it's just a matter of, like, if he's. And you'll be able to tell, like, it's not going to be like all of a sudden he's going to be slower. Like, he's going to know as he's gaining his weight, like, every 5 pounds, what the difference is for him on the field. They're going to be able to see that. They can measure that. You know what I mean? Like, so, yeah, 100%, man. He can absolutely.
Do you think he's still 245? Because he looked big.
He looked bigger at camp, didn't he? Yeah. I thought so, too. I thought without the pad, I was like, man, that's a big 245 if he's 245.
Yeah. I was thinking more like 255 at least. But. Yeah.
Maybe 250, 250, something like that. Yeah, so I have no doubt, man. But and then they go and they draft Xavier Watts, freaking in the 3rd round, and just like I didn't see that one coming. I'm glad we did. Amazing safety. I mean, I put it out there that I was open to play safety a little bit because I'm still 210 at 6'1". I can still hit a little bit. But I understand going with Xavier Watts. I understand. It makes more sense. He's younger.
What's that back pedal looking like, though, John? Was that back pedal and speed turn looking like?
No, I can still back. I can still, man. I can back pedal, sink the hips, turn. I got it, man.
Okay, all right.
The Achilles might go after a few, but like.
Uh-oh.
I mean, so how are we gonna pay you, John?
Is that we don't need no more? We don't need no more Kurt step cousin situations now.
Yeah, but I'm 43. Like that. I gotta start watching my Achilles now. I can't just be sprinting out of nowhere.
That's your minimum.
All right. No, but anywho, Liam, what's up, buddy? Sorry, I had that up there for a bit. Yeah, man. So Xavier Watts, Saivion, talk about him.
I mean, what else is there to say, man? I mean, you really got a Jesse Bates clone back there with Jesse Bates, a true ball hawk. He's going to find the ball. He's going to be in the right position. That's what made him so good at Notre Dame, was not the fact that he always found his way around the football, was that even when he wasn't around the football, he was where he was supposed to be. And I think that's what really made me like, man, this is a really good pick, because that's all you need when you have Jesse Bates on the other side. You just need somebody that when you look away from Jesse Bates, that safety, damn it, he's right where he's supposed to be. I can't throw it there. And after a while, you're just going to be like, screw it, I have to try him. I'm not going to try Jesse. I have to try him. And hopefully he does exactly what he does in Notre Dame. The plan for Watts is so perfect, because it's like, because after a while, you're going to frustrate quarterbacks. You know, quarterbacks are going to want to push the ball down the field, and they can't, because you have this too high. You have this too high shell that you have, and neither of them are breaking. So after a while, you're going to frustrate them, and a quarterback is going to be like, "Forget it." Like, I got to try something. We got to get something going. You know. So as long as we don't get run on, which we will talk about later, I'm pretty sure. As long as we don't get divvied up in a run, we have a secondary now that, quite honestly, could just frustrate quarterbacks into mistakes, and that's what you want.
You see Xavier Watts starting day one?
I don't see anybody stopping him. I can tell you that.
Yeah, me either.
Yeah,
I think Jordan Fuller.
Great insurance.
Did he freeze?
I did freeze. Sorry.
No,
Oh, am I good? Did
Yeah,
John
you're good.
freeze?
John's
Holy
good.
crap!
I think John froze up.
Sorry, I'm so using my Wi-Fi completely
I know that's
honking out for me, bro.
Nah,
But
you
yeah.
good, bro.
It's weird. Look, I see a
But yeah,
world.
I don't think
Sorry.
Jordan Fuller should stop you from getting another safety. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I see a world where all like the top four of our guys can all be starters. You have Nichols a starter, but I also see a world where all four of those guys aren't starters. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, right? Like we do have some legit guys. Like I know people don't like D. Alford, but I think a lot of he was good a couple of years ago, and I think the Jimmy Lake system was just. I
don't think it was good for anybody.
No.
Yeah,
Like,
that's that's where DBs go to die, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Like
So-
and even the thing with Matthew Judon that came out, that was horrible. Like, don't get it twisted. Judon was a bit dramatic with how many times he dropped into coverage. Like, it was only like 87 snaps over 17 games.
I think it was something like 13%, I think.
But even so, why even that? Like, Matthew Judon, that lets me know that Braylon Trice was supposed to be like the weapon in this defense. And once he left, Lake was like, "Oh God, I don't know what to do now."
Could you imagine dropping Braylon Trice into coverage instead of Judon though?
Honestly, no, but it seems like that's where we were going, and that's why that's why Jimmy Lake had to leave. That's why he had to go.
You know, it's interesting. Y'all were talking about Xavier Watts and being like the Jimmy Lake clone. The Jimmy Lake. Oh, God forbid. The Jesse Bates clone. So one thing, like a pattern that I've noticed over the years when it comes to Terry Fontenot, he's one of those guys. He's kind of like your uncle. Like he stays ready, so he doesn't have to get ready, right? So I feel like I feel like it's a possibility Jesse Bates might not be back next year. I really feel like that might be the case, guys. You went so deep in the DB room. I feel it didn't something come out saying that they tried to get Jesse Bates to extend and he declined.
Is Jesse Bates a free agent next year?
I think 2 years. Maybe.
I think he might have 2 years left, if I'm not mistaken.
2 years.
Well,
I hear what you're saying with that. So now you're grooming this kid Yeah,
Yes.
he's a free agent in 2027. Yeah, now I see what you're saying. You're grooming this kid to become the Jesse Bates apparent, which is fine. I mean, especially if you think that the answer, because I don't think Billy Bowman. You don't draft Billy Bowman to be like the answer at nickel. I think you draft Billy Bowman because you want him to be next to Xavier Watts for years, at least in my opinion.
Yes.
Like Bowman can play nickel, but I think what you want is for him to be the other safety at some point. And so, if that's like the fire and ice that you're looking for, especially with the way they were talking, you know what, Bo, you own to something, man. The way that they were talking about this safety class, they were definitely like, man, you know, these guys back there, they're like fire and ice. It's this guy, it's 1 and 2. It's like,
I'm telling you, bro. I'm telling you. You look at how well Billy Bowman plays to the line of scrimmage, and I mean, you look at how good Xavier Watts plays on top of the house. I'm telling you. I mean, whether it's next year or the year after that, I don't know if it'll be a situation where, I mean, because if we look at it honestly, this isn't what Jesse Bates signed up for, right?
no,
Like
he signed up to compete. He signed up to compete.
Exactly. He came from a team where they were in the Super Bowl, and he thought that, okay, it might take a year or two. And I mean, but I don't know if it's one of those cases where if it doesn't work, I don't know if he'll be back.
That's crazy. I didn't even think about that.
So
wow.
So if we cut him before 2026, we'd say $14 million.
Obviously, you don't want to cut Jesse Bates.
No, I'm just saying, or trade him, either one.
But if you trade him, like let's say that Jesse Bates wants another well-deserved extension. Yeah, I mean,
I don't know.
If you look back at history with Terry Fontenot, especially, you know, those picks like 1, 2, and 3, he's always looking for the next year. Whenever he's taking somebody, really the only person he didn't do that with, I would say, would be like Bijan, because we kind of didn't need a running back, but we kind of did. I mean, Algier had a 1,000-yard season, but if you look at Ruka Roro, next thing you know, Grady Jarrett's gone. Yeah, I mean, Desmond Ritter, you know, you go. I mean, they kind of completely revamped the wide receiver room, you know, whenever they brought Drake London in.
Absolutely.
I mean, so it's like, but he'll always bring them in and kind of. I mean, look at Brandon Dorless and all of those guys last year. Like, they literally sit on the bench, and he just held them because he wants them to kind of come in seamlessly, you know. So I really feel like it's one of those situations where he's trying to stay ready, so he ain't got to get ready. So we're not scrambling like we used to get players.
Like, the first thing that everybody said as soon as we got Jalen Walker was like, "Well, Caden Ellis, you better count your days." Like that, there's nothing that you can really do. Like, that man is that your clock has started. But nah, that is crazy. With with Caden Ellis, or with Jalen Walker, you're getting rid of Caden Ellis. With
or Troy Anderson.
Or Troy Anderson. No, I think that's what Divine Diablo was here for, which goes back to what you were saying, but which goes directly with what you're saying. But I think, and of course, you know, this is supposed to be a praise the draft show, because we've had plenty of people that have come and crapped on the Falcons draft, but it's truly like, you know, there's a plan in place. You always see that there's a plan in place, and it's just about how the plan is executed. Like, for instance, last year was supposed to be the year, and I'm doing all this until John gets back and we can continue with the draft stuff. But, and I want your guys' opinion on this. Last year was kind of the year that you were supposed to make the playoffs, right?
Yes, sir.
1 year 5 of the 3-year plan.
Outrun the South.
Oh, we're outrunning them, all right. We are outrunning them. But yeah, so this was so. I feel like with with all of this, I just don't know like what the identity per se is, and I kind of want you guys' opinion on like what it is defensively right now. Like, is it really just going to be just speed and turnovers? Like, is that all we're going to be doing now?
Well, I mean, it kind of goes back to, what that, and I don't know if you had a chance to catch any shows last year, Saivion. It goes back to the identity of the coach, right? So if you look at, the coach, especially a defensive guy who's a DB, he doesn't really have the appreciation for, what I call the big pretties, right? So he's going to rely on speed. The reason why we were running a cover 3 shell last year is because he didn't want him and Jimmy Lake, both DB guys, they didn't want their secondary to look bad. So they rather play 10 yards off the ball on a 3rd and 5, opposed to be in the situation where somebody throws a deep pass on them and they get caught with their pants down. So I feel like unfortunately we're going to rely on speed ball, taking the ball away, creating pressure, most likely on the outside. But I know that you alluded to it earlier, and I have the same worry that you have. Can we stop the run?
Well,
that's going to be the $1 million question.
Well, I think because Coach Ollie, right, Nate Ollie, he said that we've switched to an attack style defense, right? So that's a lot more like shooting gaps. You have your gap, you shoot in it, you just cause havoc. Everybody else knows their assignments. More stunts, more twists, more confusion on the defensive line. Opening lanes up. And I'm not so sure with whoever our second linebacker is. I'd be more comfortable with Jalen Walker there probably, and probably for future seasons he'll probably be there. But with Caden Ellis, like I'm totally good with him being back there scraping and cleaning everything up. So I think it's just going to be, it's about disrupting timing of and the rhythm of the offense. Big plays, energy. It's obviously a lot riskier, but I think like that's kind of like the team that we have right now, and I think that's the team that we have had for a while. We really haven't had that big nose tackle to clog up the middle. We've had these smaller 300-pound, 315-pound guys who are athletic. So like when you're thinking about like old school defenses, right? Like Rex Ryan ran that a lot. The 49ers wide 9. Steelers and Ravens usually have had a huge nose tackle, but they run it a lot. So
but and the thing is, Falcons, like you make a lot of great points, but I don't know if you noticed, like you are using a lot of cliches. You're using a lot of cliches when you were explaining that defense, Bo.
That's true.
I don't know if you went to the Raheem Morris School of Salesmen. You using a lot of cliches. We're gonna bring the energy and we're gonna disrupt the. At the end of the day, Bo. I mean, one man got to beat another man.
Right.
That's
yeah. And I think that's why like Rook was a project, right? And I think fits him. Dolores was a project, and this fits him. Brady and Onyemata, like these fit. Like I think this style fits these guys. So I think, as cliche as it is, that's what this attack style defense is about. But you're right, and now that I'm thinking about it, I'm feeling less confident than I was when I started.
Well, that's the only thing. That's the only thing that I think is concerning for real, other than the fact that this is a very young group. There's so much speed everywhere, but if somebody just said, if the Washington Commanders game happens again, where they just say, listen, we're just going to control the football and hope for a couple of mistakes from the offense to where they can't stay on the field. If the offense gets up, if we get 2 3 and outs, we can control the second half of this game. And that's what happened. And I just have a worst feeling that can happen more often than not. against a lot of teams that we shouldn't have that issue against, like the Colts, for instance. The Colts in Germany is really a struggle for me, because the last thing I need is Anthony Richardson having his breakout game against us overseas.
Exactly.
I think too, like with the speed, right? And it depends on. Let's see what happens with Troy Anderson. Like, and I've said this about Troy Anderson and AK, and I've said this a million times. But if you like The Office, it's like Michael Scott, snap, 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 right? Like new defensive coordinator, 3-4, 4-3,
and we keep doing it.
I know, but like it's so hard for a young guy to develop, especially as a middle linebacker who was a quarterback. He played 1 year as a middle linebacker. He was a quarterback. He's a running back. He was a middle linebacker in college.
He was a football player in Montana State.
Exactly,
that was all he was.
And that's and so now you bring in this like freak athlete and snap, 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 snap. Like you just need for him. Like, I'm not ready to throw in the towel yet for either of those guys, even though it's been a long time. But when you take these young guys, it stunts their growth as players. So
now, one thing that I do want to acknowledge is that, I mean, I know whenever I coached, whenever you played against those fast defenses, those were always the opportunities where you break off the big runs. If you look back at the history of football, whenever you see fast linebackers, those fast middle linebackers, are they normally good at playing the run?
Not usually, but I think that's what the allure of Troy Anderson is that he's supposed to be big enough to where he's fast like he is, but he's also still stout in the run game, which he can be.
But the thing is it's hard to find guys who are fast that play the run well. I don't know what it is. It's this crazy anomaly whenever you get those freak athlete linebackers. For some reason, they do not know which gap to go into. I don't know what it is. It's like you seldomly find like that freak athlete, like the Ray Lewises and guys like that who know how to hit the right gap and know how to communicate properly with, as far as A gap, B gap, C gap, and everything. But one thing about historically, and whenever we played, fast defenses, I'm like, oh yeah, we're gonna break a couple of big runs because they're gonna over pursue. And how many times do we see Troy Anderson over pursue? Not just in games, in training camps, in regular practice. Like we've seen that so many times. And what I'm worried about is having this fast defense is giving up big plays in the run, because Devon Diablo feels like a Troy Anderson clone.
He's just insurance for if Troy Anderson gets hurt again.
The thing I'll say too, is like a lot of times guys, they're not successful because they're like all these defensive coordinators want their they want their cake and to eat it too, or whatever the saying is. They don't just sit here and say, okay, like this is the defense, this is the one position you're going to learn. Like if you look at Isaiah Simmons, they had him at linebacker, they had him at safety, they had him at like these kids. I mean, these kids need to learn and develop and grow. And like I love that we're taking Jalen Walker and saying, okay, like you're an edge, like this is your role, this is what you're going to learn, and then we can add on top of that. I get nervous. I don't want them to add too quickly. But do you guys hear me?
Yep.
Yes, sir.
Okay, cool. But I want, I want to, like, same thing with Troy Anderson. I don't know what they've done with him. All I know is when you have, 4 defensive coordinators in 5 years or whatever it is, 3 and 4, like you're just not, you don't have the ability to grow and develop and learn. So I do hear what you're saying, Bigelow, about these fast linebackers never pan out. And I think that's why. I think because they try to do too much.
Yeah, you got a point. So. You got a point.
Okay, John's back. We can be happy again. Sorry.
What's going on, John?
I've never had that happen. Like I had to grab another laptop because this one, like the internet just went, and like I would not. Just done. Like no Wi-Fi is just fine with everybody else, but my laptop had to like do that. The one show I've done in 5 months. Right then. Like, is that telling me like should we not do this? Like, it's not a good time, man. I've never had an internet issue in my life. It goes out right now. Like this.
Wow. Look, man, I'm finna get ready to step on out, man. Hey, I see you on here, bro. I was like, yeah, I gotta jump on, man. You got Falcons drip, Saivion, John, one out of your Falcon mind back on. I was like, yeah, I gotta jump on this one. So thank you so much for having me, brother.
Of course, brother. Yeah, we gotta do lunch, man, when you get back in town. So.
Oh yeah, for sure. You already know it, Bo. Just hit me up.
All right, man. Be careful, buddy.
Hey. Oh yeah, and Saivion, you still owe me that $40. You just still owe me that $40. So
Yep.
I ain't mean to call you out like this, on the show and everything. But I mean, yeah.
This from the Desert Ritter bet? I mean,
I gave him a 6-pack of moonshine. He doggone. Now he done forgot about me. Your cash out still the same, Saivion. Cash out still the same.
Are you sure? Are you sure? Like my checking says
cash out,
savings, and it has to take like 3 business days. So I'll get
still Apple Pay.
No, I got you. It's just whenever the
carrier pigeons, it don't matter.
The carrier pigeon, I feel like that doesn't work as well because
Telegram, Western Union, you can do something. Do something. All right, man. Well, y'all later on, bro. Y'all take it easy.
Have a good one, man.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
That's all.
Way to exit.
All right,
exit.
Love Low. That's great. Yeah. Dude, I didn't even realize I put the link on there, to be honest with you. When he showed up, I was like, did I send him the link and not know that? No, my dumb ass posted on Twitter instead of the actual YouTube. I posted a link typed. So yeah,
beautiful.
Whatever. So yeah, it's been a while, guys, since I've done this. I told you, it's like I'm messing up left and right, but it's all good. Hopefully the internet stays on good top, and we're good to go. The Flash said late, but I'm new here watching the first. Hey man, appreciate it, dude. This is not the typical show. Mike and I kind of called it a day back in January, but we might come back. It's
better.
Go back and watch some of the shows with Mike, man. Mike's a different. Mike's his own energy.
Yeah.
I can't explain it.
There's no explaining it. You just have to see it.
Yeah. Love him to death. All right. And then I hope hopefully Root can be a piece this year. Yeah, limited time last year, but like I said, when he was in there, he was good. Liam said, "Is that Instagram legend Falcons drip?" Yes, it is. Because it's funny. He asked me earlier, Thon. He was like, "You mean like the dude that actually does that?" I was like, "Yes." Like he's been on the show before, like the actual one. Like he's like the best account.
Awesome.
Yeah, I know.
You really are the best account on freaking Instagram.
It really does. Yeah, he said, "Fuck them picks." Exactly what they said, man. Yeah, exactly.
If it works out, that sounds
looks
fantastic.
Great. Yeah, looks great. Absolutely. Uncle Steve, what's up, man? Good to see you, bud. Make sure y'all follow Uncle Steve too. Still doing phenomenal shows. So Saivion, that gritty analogy was good. I think leadership is getting younger and more talented. Kind of reminds me of when we let Roddy's leadership go after 2015, and that turned out okay. Yeah, 100%.
It did. That's a solid point.
That was mostly what I was thinking. I was cursing Shanahan out.
Yeah, that's true. Liam was money, dude. He was what was he saving? Like the first 11 picks he got or something? It was ridiculous. Ridiculous.
No, that was crazy. That was crazy.
I should have bet money that night.
That's what I'm saying. You talking about I was money. You should have. You're correct. You were money. You should have put some money down. Not you, Liam, but your father.
Yeah, exactly. Like Harry said, the vibes are high too. I bet. Yeah, I mean, same thing I've seen on one time and on like I said, T-Will show too. I've seen it too. Just everybody seems to be in a really good mood. So did y'all get into the other two picks?
We didn't. No, I wanted to save the picks for you, and we kind of went to a different.
I didn't. One thing I did want to say about Xavier Watts too, before we jump to Billy Bowman, is like his measurables are all down a little bit, right? Like he's not the fastest, he's not the strongest, he's not going to jump the highest. But when you take a guy who is football savvy, he is 3 steps ahead of all of the fast guys anyways. Like he diagnoses things so quickly. Like it is, if you watch some of these like clips where, they're running the ball, he's going to the spot before the running back is sometimes. Like it is beautiful. Insane. Yeah. He very much, like you said, Jesse Bates clone. Like it is crazy. I actually think he, at times, not always, but at times he starts moving before Jesse Bates does, which is crazy because Jesse Bates is one of the best in the league at doing that kind of stuff.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yes,
Yeah.
Jesse Bates will for sure get into position to make a play. Absolutely.
But it just feels like, especially in the run plays, it's like he knows. I don't know if there's he picks up on tells as the game's going along, but it's like he is moving to the right spot before like I said, any of the offensive players are. Like he was my safety too. And when I was I joined for the end of the first round to talk to you guys, and I said like it's that trade is gonna come down to who do they get in the third round, and to land a player like Xavier Watts again, who is a top 40 player, and he was my safety too. It's just like I know a lot of people like the Nick
Emanwari.
Yeah, but he's not for me. Like I'm good not taking him. Like he lacks like the short area quickness, which you need as a safety. And for him not to do any of those testings for me, I was like, okay, like I am good. Like that's the player that I would have, 5 years ago, I would have been salivating over, but anyways.
You were much more mature than I am because I was a fiend for Nick Emanwari. But no, I understand what you were saying. I understand completely what you were saying.
I've been burned too many times by those.
No, I still see big fast guy go get ball.
Yeah.
Yeah. But all right. So y'all good on Watts? We're straight. Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Billy Bowman, when he was drafted, I mean, if you don't watch college, you're probably looking at it going strong safety. You're like, why are we doing another safety, right? That's what a lot of people said. But I kind of figured off the bat, like that's not what they're doing. Like they want him to come in and compete for nickel corner, and that's what you're gonna do, man. Another ball hawking dude, man. Like he's always around the ball, and he's an aggressive guy. He can hit, he can tackle. I really like that pick too. I mean, like I hate to sound like I love every pick, but I mean, I did. I mean, I legitimately think that this guy's going to compete right now to start at nickel with D. Alford. So, Saivion.
What Xavier Watts is when it comes to him being like a reliable safety, that's what Billy Bowman is at being an exciting nickel. Like Billy Bowman is where you bring the energy to your defense. Like that big play that you need on third. Let's go back to the Eagles game against the Falcons against the Eagles when Bijan Robinson got the football on that crucial 3rd and 1. When Chauncey Gardner-Johnson hit him in the freaking A gap, that brought the air out of me. That took all of the air. Was that 3rd or 4th? It might have been 4th down.
Might have been.
It was 4th down. That took all of the air out of me, and that put so much energy. I thought we lost at that exact moment. I said, "That's game." That's what Billy Bowman can do for you. That's the kind of impact that he can have on a defense. Is that type of play? Not to mention the fact that he is a solid cover guy. Not to mention the fact that he does run the lane really well. But he brings a sort of energy that you need from the nickel position that honestly you would like at the safety position, which is why I continue to think that may be the move now that Big Lowe's put that bug in my ear.
What do you say?
You weren't here.
Yeah.
Big Lowe has a conspiracy theory that Watts was brought here to take over for Jesse Bates as a younger, much less expensive Jesse Bates. Right?
I see that like they're similar. Yeah, I don't want that to happen though. No.
Absolutely not. No. Absolutely not.
I think it's more of an insurance policy than anything else, right? Like
yeah, I could see that. Yeah.
If in 2 years, if like you said, if Jesse Bates is like, all right, I came here to play for a contender, we're not contending, I want out, or if he loses a step or two, and it's like, okay, are we going to re-sign you to a big contract where we're paying you, 15 to 20 million, or do we let you go? So I think it's more insurance. I really hope he stays for like the way this regime has gone. I see a world where he doesn't stay, but I would love to see him stay and, end his career here. But
big thing about Jesse Bates, 2 years, be 30.
Yeah,
and everybody knows what that year 30 does for defensive backs, safeties, and corners.
Maybe they do linebacker.
They do not they turn into linebackers. And they turn into depth pieces. Then
corners turn to safeties. Safeties turn to, hopefully, if they're big enough, hopefully they can turn to linebackers. But
What is Simmons? Is he 31, 32? How old is he? Is he younger than
Simmons? I think he was 31.
30 or something like that, right?
Could also be another part. Could be another piece of this, because it's like, yo, you fell off a cliff, buddy.
Right. I mean, like that's worrisome,
But how much of that too is, like we said, is the Jimmy Lake effect.
Right. Yeah. I mean, that's why I have a hard time looking at last year's defense and making a lot of critical judgments about it, because it was like you put guys in positions that it made no sense. I mean, like you don't want Jesse on an island, like not utilizing any of the talents that he has. Like you're wasting him doing a single high, just sit back there and watch. You know what I mean? Like
we really put him back there to just watch the game.
Blew my mind, dude. Like, I mean, this is one of the most just reactive players on the team or in the league even. It's like, I don't know. So anyway, yeah, I mean, I have a hard time, just like I said, really going back and giving an honest opinion on some of this. Even Alfred, even D'Alfred had a down season, and he made some, but again, I don't know how badly he was put in, what positions he was put in either. So I guess, we'll find out though. But anyway, Billy Bowman, like you said, I mean, well, Thon, you didn't talk about it, man. Are you happy with that one?
Yeah, I loved it. At first I was definitely a head scratcher. I was like, huh. And then I was like, well, my other thought too is I think like Raheem plays with a lot of three safeties anyways.
Right.
So that was my original thought. Oh, like he's just going to play with three safeties. So one of them will move down, one will be a nickel. They just straight up came out and said, yeah, he's going to be our nickel back. I'm like, oh, well, that actually makes a lot more sense. I think he'll be a lot better there. The only concerns for him are, his size. Obviously, he's a smaller guy, and I get worried when you play like that at that size, like, because he's tough, right? And I worry it's not college and the NFL is two totally different things. So I get worried if you play like that, how long is it sustainable? And I don't think there's any rhyme or reason to it, because sometimes it is and sometimes it's not. It just depends on the player. And then also just his tackling. He's got like shorter arms. I mean, he's twitched up, so like he's a lot of times and he's instinctive. So a lot of times I think he's in the right place. I think there's times too where just the shorter arms he lacks bringing guys down. He lacks, knocking balls away. Again, NFL quarterbacks, the good ones, can place the balls away from where you can't. They're putting where you can't reach it. So he can do the shorter arms. And again, all hypothetical stuff, because he could come in and just be an absolute animal and it's not going to matter. But those are just the things you're concerned about. But in the fourth round, I mean, it would be, he was a third round guy we got in the fourth. Like,
yeah. More value, man. Like I said, more value. And I see what you mean, like, too. I mean, like, because like what we like about AJ, he'll throw himself into a running back,
does not
thinking twice, and it scares the shit out of you, because you're like, oh God, like he'll just runs up. And I love it about him, but it scares you because you want to stay healthy and be able to stay out there. But yeah, that's I can't wait, man. I can't wait for camp to get here and watch these competitions, because it's going to be a fierce competition in the secondary, man. It really is. It's going to be fun to watch.
Yeah. Billy Bowman did everything. Like
did everything. Right.
He did everything at Oklahoma. So I do see a world where maybe he does become that safety back there, or maybe he stays a nickel. Who knows? Like we'll see what happens. It's exciting.
So my ankle and my back will not allow me to play safety. My ankle would be okay. I'll take that shit up. It'll be fine. My back may be a problem.
No, your back is going to be a problem.
Low back might be a problem, and that was my own fault. Look, I did a lot of heavy deadlifting back in the day that I kind of regret now, but I was young and stupid. And
do you really regret it? Because come on. When you pull it up, and then you hear just when you hear the earthquake, when you feel the earthquake of it coming down, You didn't. Yeah. You didn't. You don't regret anything. Don't.
Probably not. I mean, yeah. I mean, when it all happened, Lou, when we lived in Vegas, like I met a guy there that was a powerlifter, right? He was 6'3". I'm not shitting you. 6'3", 350 pounds, right? I mean, just a massive dude. 40 years old, and I always like my training was always bodybuilding style workouts. He was like, dude, he's like, I can put some weight on you, man. He's like, come do like 6 months of powerlifting with me, and I'm like, It's like, I don't know, man. And I was like, all right, fine. So yeah, 6 months of basically just focusing on bench, deadlift, and squat. And that was, and every other day was like just all, basically auxiliary stuff, working on little muscles, like, or not little muscle groups, not big muscle groups. And yeah, look, it worked. He got me strong as shit, as strong as I've ever been, as big as I ever was. But again, like I look back at it, I'm like, yeah, that's exactly why I have some of the issues I have right now. If I didn't do that, probably be straight. I'd probably be really like no issues whatsoever. But
hey, playing safety for the Falcons.
There you go. Like. At the time I was 25, and it was a good idea. So because it mattered. And I was taking supplements. I didn't know what I was taking. It was great. Anyway, all right. So last pick we had number 218, offensive tackle Jack Nelson out of Wisconsin. I'm not going to mention the last Wisconsin offensive lineman we took because there's no reason to do that. And you know what it is, right? Okay. Yeah. All right. So I'm just going to go with this dude I'm looking at the stats alone, like barely allowed a sack in his career, which is great. And I mean, that's all you can really ask for, right? We don't know what he may turn into. We know Jake Matthews is a little older, but hey, the dude keeps playing every game. Just shows up, does his job very quietly. Saivion actually we talked about it on the phone today briefly. Like it's one of the few guys on the roster we can actually say is a little bit older. But again, man, just shows up, does his job, and does it pretty damn well. So, we did an extension with him, right? Just recently.
Yep. Yeah.
So we did his contract. McGarry, we don't know. Look, there's a love-hate with McGarry. Like he's a phenomenal run defender. Jesus Christ, phenomenal run blocker. We know what happens when there's a speedy pass rusher. It can be a problem for him. A little bit worrisome now because he's got to guard
the blind
and it's his blind side. So like that's a little bit concerning, but he was okay in those 4 games, right? Like nothing was like
fine. Yeah.
Right. I mean, I was expecting like, oh my God, and like it wasn't really that bad. Like
he was not. He was fine. He wasn't. He's not like a world beater. Like what I'm saying. Right. He's not sitting there burying dudes, but he was good. Like
he was okay. Yeah.
Almost like he was almost good. So.
I think he gets a bad rap.
Oh, he absolutely does, but it's because his losses look so bad.
Yeah,
like he loses so quickly that it looks bad.
It makes it look like he's standing still sometimes.
Exactly,
like he's barely out of his stance. His hands are this way. The guy's here on his way to the quarterback, and you're like,
his losses look so bad. But it's like as soon as once he gets his hands on you, it's pretty much over. It's just about him getting his hands on you.
And he doesn't lose as much as people think he does because, like you said, it's so bad it sticks with you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but it's probably twice a game, sometimes 3 times a game. But when it is, it's bad, and a lot of times it's a bad result. The guy gets hammered in the backfield. It's ends up being a negative play or whatever, and that's totally get it. Like we've been on, y'all been on our show, y'all have watched it, y'all listen to it. I mean, it's like I said, I never been on the Caleb McGarry train, but he's really good at one thing and sort of good at another, but as long as he, like I said, keeps our guy upright, I mean, I'm fine with it. So anyway, anything on Jack Nelson before we move on to the undrafted guys?
I think he just also has the pedigree, right? Like he has, but I mean, he's everything you would want in a 7th round pick. Like I'm actually shocked he was a 7th rounder. Like I had him more of like a probably like a fifth
or about a 5th, 6th.
Like he doesn't do anything that's so exciting, but there's somehow potential there. But he also looked good, but not good enough. But he looked good in college. It's just like it's a very weird, one of the weirder prospects because you don't know. You know what I mean? It's like with everybody, right? Like his ceiling is pretty high. It feels like he's not going to get there, but he definitely could. Like I don't know.
It's your prototypical Big Ten offensive lineman is what he is.
Yeah. Exactly. And you see that, and it's like, I mean, there's a place in the league for that.
Yeah, and
absolutely. Whether that's like I could very much see Nelson come in and he turns into a swing tackle for us, and we don't have to spend that money in an off season to go and get it. He's already here. And so, you know, you're not really expecting a 7th round pick to come out and be a world beater or come out and even make the roster. But if this guy comes in and he is, I don't know, a special teams guy, and he is able to make the 53 as a potential swing tackle in case something bad happens.
He played some guard too, I think, right?
Yeah. I
don't remember that, but yeah. I mean, even if he does have that versatility, that makes it even better.
Yeah. Yep. It's just like, and his things, it just feels like his things are all not replaceable. His things are a lot of stuff is fixable, right? Like he grabs a lot. Sometimes it feels like, you know, he just needs some refinement and you know, needs to get a little bit stronger. The other thing too is like, I think he'll be fine in a zone scheme, and I think he's undraftable in a power scheme at this point.
Makes sense.
But like,
right.
But I do like, I think he has the potential is there, and it's everything like you said. It's everything, or maybe I said it. Somebody said
you said it. Yeah.
Everything you want in the 7th round pick at a position of kind of need, a future position of need
is good. Yeah.
You know, again, he could be if he turned out to be a swing tackle as a 7th round pick, that would be fantastic.
So that's a massive win.
Yeah,
big time. Chris, what's going on, buddy? A1 Sports. Make sure y'all check out Chris, doing great things over there. I'm watching Liam still talking shit with Berto too, man. Talking about he can't play either. I mean, this is I'm going to line up against Liam. Like. Anyway, all right, so let's move on to the undrafted free agents, which, I mean, normally these are guys for us, like, I'm like, who? Like where does that guy go? Like, we never really know where these guys are normally. And this year, totally different, completely different. So I will bring up, let's see. So these are the guys we got, right? I think it's probably headlined by Kobe Bryant, corner out of Kansas, which a lot of guys had. I mean, I saw him as high as 150 something as far as player rankings.
Cannot believe that.
I saw drafts with him going in the like 3rd round. I think I might have seen one with him going in like the 2nd, which I didn't see that, but
that's a lot. But
yeah, it's just the point being like people are high on him and
big time. Yeah,
I heard somewhere that people didn't like his interviews.
No, I'm sure.
He's definitely rough around the edges, man.
Everything about the way he plays gives you the feeling that he does not interview well.
I'm taking us a little bit off topic, but I do want to talk about something that I wanted to make sure we talked about coming undrafted free agents. So, like, when you think about the UDFAs, it is so much of like recruiting, and this is really the first year that Raheem Morris went through the entire, scouting cycle. Because last year they were still looking at a lot of Arthur Smith's guys. So like this is like the first year where he was like out there recruiting, and I think it's showing. And I think that's why we have this sort of UDFA class where I think a lot of other guys were like, why would I want to go play for that guy? Right. Mm-hmm. He's so, and I actually like Arthur Smith as a person. Like, I think he comes off really poorly in interviews, but I think if you talk to him outside of football, I've seen him outside, didn't talk to him personally, but just seeing, like, listening to him talk to other people. Like, he's stale, but I think he's a good dude.
Dude, our buddy Joe Patrick, I mean, I didn't mean to interrupt you, man, but our buddy Joe Patrick from 99 The Game, who we've had on, like, he said that exact thing. He said, dude, he's like, when he was here, he was like, you could see like a switch flip as soon as he got behind the mic for his interviews. But before then or after, when they're talking, they're just like, he's like an everyday dude.
Yeah.
Just chatting it up, telling stories and, but just had a different persona behind the mic. Anyway, sorry, go ahead.
No, that was it. I just think, like, everybody talks about Raheem Morris as the man, as the, he's the player, like he's a player's coach. People want to play for him. People want to win for him. And I think it's showing in these awesome, like, I loved this, class we brought in. I don't know, right? I'm not there, but I think he has a lot to do with it.
Mm-hmm.
I could see that.
Yeah, for sure. And anyway, with Kobe Bryant, for sure, I think we all agree probably he's going to make the squad. I would think, right? I mean,
I don't see how he can't. I don't see a guy that's stopping you. Like,
yeah, that's
maybe Clark Phillips, but he hasn't really showed you anything that would stop you from bringing in a guy like Kobe Bryant.
No, and Kobe's a little taller,
All right.
And so
not bigger. He's
not bigger, just taller.
Longer.
Definitely longer. Yeah,
definitely longer.
And the other one that there's a few more, but another one that everybody was stoked about, Nick Nash from San Jose State, 6'2", 203-pound wide receiver, literally like led the NCAA last year, like in damn near every category as a receiver.
He was their offense.
He was.
He played receiver for like 2 years.
Yeah.
Like, again, another guy who, potential out the wazoo. I think I saw him high on people's boards too. He was like a 4th, 5th round type player.
Yeah. He was definitely. He wasn't supposed to be undrafted. That's for sure.
No.
And he's definitely like a lot of people I've heard say like your poor man's Drake London type of guy. Not quite as tall as Drake, but has the same type of style, right? He's going to body you out. He's going to go up, take the ball away from you. Look, watching the film on him, like that dude's legit. Like he can play. Like I fully would be just fine with him out there, earning a spot, whether it's the 4th spot, 5th spot, whatever it is. I think he'll definitely be a contributor to it.
Yeah, it's what our top 4 guys are kind of sealed. Sealed is that what I'm saying, right? But like it's London, Mooney, McLeod, Kadero Hodge, and then that 5 and possibly 6 spots totally up for grabs.
Yeah, and we could see a world where he takes that spot from Hodge, and Hodge is more of a gadget-ish type of dude that still does does this thing on special teams, of course.
Yeah, I mean like he's a lock for the roster. Like
right, yeah, for sure. And then shit, where'd he go? Oh yeah, Dante Manning, another corner from Oregon, which I was really good corner.
Another good corner. Yeah.
I mean, like I said, just guys that from good programs that, I'm just not used to seeing guys that we know
like Joshua. Like I remember,
Simon, dude. Yeah.
Like I remember last year, there was one dude that we got was from Minnesota State Mankato.
Right.
I want you to think about where that could possibly be in Minnesota.
Exactly. Not a clue.
I think didn't Manning run like a 4.2 as pro or something?
It was something stupid.
He ran something ridiculous.
Yeah. Like another. Yeah. I don't think I see him more as a. Practice squad guy with like huge upside.
Yeah, right. For sure. And a guy like Simeon Barrow from Miami, look, he's similar structure as Grady.
Pick the right team.
And it's like we've got that D-line room's definitely a little fuller than it ever has been. So there's gonna be some competition there, especially inside. But hey, like again, if he's a practice squad guy, I mean, great, good to have him there, and Jordan Williams from Georgia Tech, maybe a sneaky good pick, 6'5", 318. Very highly. That team, the Georgia Tech team, ran the ball a lot, and like that's the guy that can move and get out there and do things. So having him there as well, like I said, just overall, man, it's 11 guys. We have 11 guys that I can't say I've heard of every single one of them, which is fine. But like I said, just the guys at the top of it, though, I mean, like they have a legit chance to make the squad. It's pretty exciting stuff, man.
Have you watched Nathan Carter?
I have seen some Nathan Carter, yeah.
That dude is explosive.
He really is, yeah.
He could become our RB3. Like there's a world where
he could be Jace McClellan.
He could pass up Jace, yeah. And I'm an Alabama guy. I like Jace, but
it hurts your heart, John.
It does. It hurts me a little bit, but I mean, I can see it happen. In the end, I'm all for the team, though. Red and black. That's what it. If it has to happen, that's fine. I'm good with that.
Another guy that I really like, Joshua Green. Really like him. Think that he has a chance to maybe get some snaps this year on the interior. Yeah, especially with the Ryan Newsel thing kind of still not exactly.
I was going to ask you guys, like, how confident are you, like, with this? Just kind of like I have no idea.
We feel like we have to.
I mean, yeah,
right. We got to bring him back, so because we don't have anybody else.
Right.
It kind of feels like one of those things, right, where like he's like I'm good. I'm like maybe a couple things. Maybe they're working on some sort of contract extension. Maybe he's like, yeah, I'm good. Either like I'm gonna wait it out, see if someone will pay me more money because you guys are gonna have to.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm like, truthfully, if I'm like the Saints, I'm gonna go.
For sure.
I'd go and try and put like a big bid in, and either Atlanta's gonna have to, or they don't have a center. So,
because we're not winning anything anyway.
That's my only concern. But
yeah, no, I expect a little bit of a drop off because Dahlman obviously was good at what he did. And Newsel, there's a reason he was a backup, so I don't expect him to be like elite level like Newsel. Or I shouldn't say Dahlman was elite, but he was really good. He got paid like he was elite. Holy shit! But regardless, I mean, I think he'll be fine. The biggest difference I think you're going to see is like he's not nearly as athletic as Dahlman. Dahlman was good at getting to the second level, getting to those linebackers, and Newsel may be a little bit a step slower getting there than Dahlman was. So that's.
I think he snaps better.
Yeah, that's probably.
Yeah, that's the one thing with Dahlman that I just could not understand. Yeah. Sorry, my puppy is going ballistic right now.
No, that's true. Right?
Are you in the country?
It's like,
huh? Are you in the country?
No, I'm not in the country. I'm literally here in my very suburban apartment. That's just like, and I'm not even. What are you doing?
Awesome. Puppy's a lot better, dude.
What's in honor of mine?
If y'all watched the show for a while, y'all will get that because Mike would freeze up pretty much on a show-to-show basis. And he'd have to go back and come back in, and he'd freeze in the middle of a statement, face all looking weird, something like that. It was happened all the time, every time.
Hey, that was hilarious. Great job, Kerry.
That was phenomenal, Kerry. What's up, Michael? Good to see you, man. Mr. Smith said Billy reminds me of Bob Sanders. I'm talking about
ooh, yeah, because Bob Sanders had no regard for his life either.
If he turns into Bob Sanders, I'd be just fine with that. Brave Double B, what's up, man? Good to see you, man. And I think okay, well, good, Flash. We just answered the question. Sorry, I'm obviously, since I was not on the show for like 10 minutes, I'm trying to catch up with that.
DB2,
I don't think DB2 yet.
I don't think he's there, but I do think that he can be a solid rotational piece. And I think getting that as an undrafted free agent is incredible value.
Yeah, me too. For sure.
I think he can come in and be like the first backup as an outside corner.
Right.
And I think he has potential to be a starter at outside and long. So if you look at this list though, like there's a world where all of these guys have a way to make the roster.
There's a path.
Yeah.
Like even Joshua Simon, like is Tegan Quitoriano? God dang it, I cannot say that man's name. Is he really stopping you from from bringing on Simon if he's good? You know,
it's going to like come down to what do the coaches want your tight end 3 to be,
right?
When you have Kyle Pitts and
Charlie Warner.
Thank you. Like you got a potential big play threat. You've got a blocker. What do you want your third tight end to look like?
Exactly.
Yep.
So, you good?
Gotta make an appearance. he locked himself in here with me, so now. When they first signed Malik Verdon, I was like, "What are we doing?" And then when they moved him to linebacker, I was like, "Oh,
yeah, exactly." It's like, that makes sense. Yeah, because it's like we just got 2 safeties. We don't need another one.
Yeah, especially because he's more of like that, right? Like stiffer, like I said about Nick, the South Carolina guy earlier. He's more of that mold. But then when they moved linebacker, like stiff safeties moved. They moved a linebacker. They're like Shakira, stiff hips, and then all of a sudden their hips don't lie.
Oh God. First secure reference ever on the show, I believe. So nice job.
I'm almost positive.
That was great. That's a great. I don't think Mike even used that one before, so that was good. Okay, so we going to any games? That's the plan. I'm not sure when or what, but it's always going to depend on Liam's schedule, as always. Which ones we can make it to?
Probably Carolina. That's where I'm at right now. So
yeah, that's true.
Gonna have to infiltrate here once.
Yeah, you definitely got to. Yeah, for sure. Billy Mills, what's up, buddy? Good to see you, dude.
Nice.
So yeah, anything else on the undrafted guys before we move to the schedule quickly?
It's crazy. It's crazy that, like Thon said, they all have a path, and I don't know whether that's a good or bad thing.
Yeah, that's true. I like it. Just I really like Quincy Skinner too.
Yeah,
like he,
yeah. Him and what's his name, Will Shepherd, were like made Vanderbilt watchable for me that 1 year before he went to Colorado. Before Shepherd went to Colorado, I was like, oh, this is cool.
Yeah.
So yeah,
we talked about it. The one we didn't talk about was Nick Kubitz, right?
Yeah, really. Yeah.
I'm sorry. Please finish what we were actually talking about, because I need to talk about this.
Yeah. I was just gonna say, he was probably
talking about Nick Kubitz.
He was probably the only guy that I didn't know of.
I had no idea who Nick Kubitz was.
Yeah, me either. No, I was just like, all right, cool. Well, there had to be at least one guy that we.
He's got hair like Jesus, though. So he's got to be good.
There you go.
There you go. That's a dub right there. Yeah, you bring Jesus into the locker room? Absolutely.
Yeah, done deal. Yeah, we know what he can do. We know what he can do, right? So,
right.
All right. So, Millie said that week 3 game against Carolina it's funny to me, the whole timing of that game, knowing they're trying to be competitive this year. I don't know. I think it's a loss. I mean, look, man. Hopefully not. But,
What's going on with the Carolina Panthers?
What happened with the Carolina Panthers to where they have all of this to say?
Yeah,
I know.
What happened?
Bryce had 1 good game or 2 good games, and it was like, there he is.
It was like
again, I love Bryce, but like, damn.
It was like a month ago. All of a sudden, they just started coming out of everywhere and like attacking us. And it's like what? I don't know if you I don't know if you remember, Thon. Like, I was not on Twitter. I come back and all of a sudden, everybody, there's a whole bunch of keep pounding hashtags and all. I'm like, weren't y'all in hiding last year? What is going on?
Yeah, that was unexpected. I didn't see that one coming. That was one of the worst defensive years in their. It was the worst defensive year in their history.
They use that as an argument. They use that as an argument, John. The fact that they were so bad defensively, they use that as an argument to discredit how good Penix may be next year. That is a legitimate argument that they use.
I don't know what to say to that.
I don't
know. I don't have anything to say to that. Really, I mean,
it really is something. And it's like too, like I would normally say that the Panthers fans are the best fans in our division besides Falcons. Like I've always, I've gone to the games in Carolina, and it's been
they're amazing.
Nothing but pleasant.
Good folks.
And then I don't know where this is.
Even when they had Cam, it wasn't like this.
Yeah,
that's true.
Like, I remember being at a game and them saying, well, like walking into a game and multiple fans saying, like, hey, like, good luck today. Like, the one thing we can agree on, we all hate the Saints. I'm like, absolutely. Yeah,
absolutely. Where did that go?
Exactly. Yes, that was Kane, Kerry. He has definitely gotten bigger. Pax is somewhere. Pax is almost as big as Kane. He's only like 7 months. And
wow.
Completely different dogs, too. Like, they couldn't be more different, but they thankfully get along, which is great. Eric said their balls dropped, I guess. Hey, also a possibility. Could be. I
mean, little brother. I mean, it's just happy for you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly. Kerry said Carolina Panthers fans drive me nuts on Twitter, talking so much just because that last game of the season they beat us. Yeah, I mean, they have a good draft. I think they're so. Yeah, I get it totally.
You know what? As a big brother, this is what happens. This is what happens when you let little brother win. You can never let little brother win. They have to understand that they're little brother. This is what happens. Yeah. And we have no one to blame but Jimmy Lake.
That's it.
We have nobody to blame but Jimmy Lake, who allowed that that man to put up 44 points on them.
A smart move by Raheem, though. It's like, hey, look, you got it now? You good? Okay, go ahead and show me you got it. And then that's what we got. So,
and he said, "Oh God."
Exactly. All right, so on to the schedule. We'll cover it quickly because we got to get out of here. It's like we're doing like a Mike and myself time show here, but we probably a little bit earlier because no, it's good. No, if I hadn't had the internet issue, we'd probably be fine. But anyway, so starting off week 1 against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, 1 o'clock game
at home.
I got it. Yeah, I'm about to get it up here. Let's see. Share screen.
I'll figure out which game I'm going to try and go to.
There we go. All right. Yeah. So week 1 against the Bucks. And I mean, I'm cool with that. I think, that I think that's the first week's such a crapshoot regardless. Because you're going in not knowing what, I mean, I don't value the preseason at all. So like you're going into the first game really not knowing exactly what you got on both sides of the ball. So both teams are kind of filling each other out. And so I like catching Tampa on the first game. I kind of dig it. So we'll see what happens with that. And before we even get to the whole schedule, we have five primetime games, guys.
The hell did we do to get that?
6 if you count Germany.
6 if you count Germany. Yeah, I mean,
so 6 standalone games.
Yeah, I mean, folks are apparently loving Penix, man, loving what was and apparently the draft that we did. Even though a lot of national guys don't understand the draft that we did. I mean, it seems to be, people do.
So here's my thing. Do they love it or are they more so kind of just intrigued at how contrarian the Falcons seem to be? You know what I'm saying?
That's probably some of that.
Like Atlanta seems to, whenever somebody zigs, the Falcons are going to zag.
Falcons are going to Falcon.
Yeah.
Exactly. And so is that what they're looking for? Is like, yeah, you guys are keep doing all these things, keep going against conventional wisdom.
Finally one of my Twitter posts is blowing up. That one.
Oh, congratulations. What'd you do? Was it something ridiculous? That's normally what mine do. If I post something stupid, it goes wild.
I'll pull it out. Hold on. It says, I just pretty much said Falcons are going to Falcon, and the definition of it is, I'll read it out. I'll read it. Hold on. Let me pull it up. Definition: the Falcons are going to make a controversial move that typically is against media consensus, but it always works out.
Yeah, there you go.
For
the most part,
that is very true. I think the only big thing that worked out and that everybody was like, "Oh, this is fine," was the Julio trade up. I think everything else, everybody was like, "The hell are they doing?"
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Or like Drake London. Everyone was against Drake London. He's been by far the best receiver in that draft class.
Not only that, Drake London was a prototypical Arthur Smith receiver. Yeah. Like it just made so much sense.
Yeah. Penix, Bijan. So.
Penix, I was definitely like, what the hell was that?
No, we all were. The only person that wasn't was Thon. Thon was like, hey, that's a great pick. And we're like, dude, you're crazy. And, now
what are you talking about?
Now, definitely a great pick.
I came on and I was like, he has the accuracy of Matt Ryan and the arm strength of Michael Vick. And Mike was all about it, but John was a little more skeptical.
No, I walked off the freaking. I was like, because it was just like you just went and Saivion and I just did a freaking show. It's like you just went and paid the dude $180 million. Well, I know it's not totally $180 million, but you
I don't care. You're still giving him $100 million.
Right. And I was like, so why are we doing? Address something else since we got this. And then, but I get, like I said, hindsight 2020. You think about it a while. I was like, okay, yes. And watching Kirk's first game, I mean, looking like a freaking 105-year-old back there. Like I was like, all right, I understand now. We definitely should have drafted a quarterback, and I'm glad we got him when we did.
Yeah, but $100 million smoke screen, that was not necessary.
I think that just blew up in his face. I think they fully anticipated. They wanted him to go 2 years. I think.
Yeah, I think so too.
And then cut him after 2 years, or trade him after 2 years.
Trade him after 2 years.
Then Penix steps in, he just fell off a freaking cliff, dude. And then
I think part of the reason too why it took so long to get Penix in was everybody knew once Penix was in, that was it.
That was going to be it. Exactly.
So now when Penix is in, it's the $100 million mistake.
Yeah.
And for Kirk, when Penix is in, he's done. So
exactly,
because that was supposed to be the year. Because again, that was what we said. Thon last year was a year to make the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
Very much so. Like they had a third place schedule and everything. It was.
Yep.
They literally outran the South. Yeah.
Yep. And then didn't make playoffs. So, yeah, I'm gonna run through the schedule. Y'all tell me what stands out, what you're looking forward to, and then we'll call it a night.
Right.
Week 2, Vikings. Week 3, Panthers. Week 4, the Commanders. Week 6 going to be a Monday night game against the Buffalo Bills, and there's going to be a lot of Bills fans coming to Atlanta. I can tell you that. Where we go on at San Francisco. Oh, and by the way, we have a bye week in week 5, which kind of sucks.
Brutal.
Yeah, I do not like that bye week at all. But week 7, go to San Fran. We get to see our buddy over there. Week 8, back at home against Miami. Then we go to New England. Then we're at the Colts. Then home against Carolina. At the Saints. First time we play them in week 12. Who knows what they're going to look like. Then at the Jets, week 13. We go to Seattle, week 14. Come back to Tampa Bay, 15. At Arizona on week 16. We come home to the Rams on week 17. And we finish out the season with the Swamp Rats in week 18 at home. So, guys, top games you're looking forward to? What you got, Saivion?
Not top games. There's a stretch from week 7 to about week 14 where they can catch a stride.
Sure can.
If the San Francisco 49ers are not what San Francisco has been,
and they shouldn't be,
which they shouldn't be, and the Falcons come out of that week 5 bye and they're competitive against the Bills, we could see a run here from 7 to 14 that propels them into the playoffs.
I would agree with that. Those are all very winnable games for sure. And I don't go through I typically, and we always do a schedule. Of course we do a prediction like everybody else does.
The win-loss game.
But I hate doing the whole oh, that's a win, that's a win. I mean, it's just I can see I'll just go ahead and say we have to have a winning record. We have to. There's no way we can go through this season and have a losing record again. With the changes we've made with there's no way. So I think 9-8 is probably the bottom. I don't want to even say 8-9. I don't even want to speak it. So I think 9-8 is down there at the bottom. That's the least amount we're looking at. I hope, praying, all that good stuff. I have no idea where those 9 wins are going to come from. I can probably tell you, I can ID on a few of them, but look, we've seen crazier things happen every year. We see bad teams be good teams. It happens all the time. So, realistically, I think that 10 or 11 is very attainable. Anything over 11, I think we're getting into Mike territory.
13 and 4.
So I mean, 13 and 4 is definitely Mike territory.
My territory. It's my territory too.
There you go. Look, I love it. I would love nothing more.
I think I said that last year also, though. So
yeah, I mean, I think I said 12 and 5 last year. 11. We've all been burned so many times doing this. It's you know what? Damn it, you're gonna have to show me. But anyway, yeah, I can definitely see. Like I said, we'll probably get. I mean, we'll probably do another show before the season starts, at least. Even if we don't come back, we'll probably all get together and do a show. But I can, just looking at it now as it stands, yeah, that 9 to 11 range makes sense to me. And anything, and like I said, like Thon said, I mean, 13, I think, hey, if everything goes right and guys stay healthy and the right guys do what they're supposed to do, then yeah, I think that's attainable too. But
I think I'm looking forward to the Bills game.
Me too.
Coming off a bye. Playing the Bills on Monday night, so it's. I just think it'll be huge. It'll be an awesome test to see where we stand. I also think we kind of match up well against them. I think our offensive line is good. Their defensive line is good. Their offensive line is okay. Hopefully our defensive line is improved. Right. Josh Allen makes some throws that are not always the wisest. We've got ball hawks in the secondary. So I think it's a good matchup. I think, like I said, it'll be a good test for us. And I think, obviously, the Bills, we're going to go into the game, the Bills being the favorite, but I do see a world, and I've said this about a lot of things, but I do see a world where we can beat the Bills. Just matchup alone, I think it's better than people think, I believe.
Yeah, I mean, these first 5 games, we're probably only going to be favored maybe in the Panthers game.
I can very easily see us go go 2-2 or even 1-3 in that scenario.
Yeah.
I'm not even gonna lie to you.
I think we have to come out 2-2.
Yeah.
If you come out of that 2-2, I think you're setting yourself up really well.
Yeah, I'd be just fine with that.
But like when you look at it, I see like we beat the Bucs twice last year. We could beat the Bucs.
I think you can beat them pretty nicely in week 1 because it's week 1.
It's week 1. Yeah.
I think, the Vikings, who knows what JJ McCarthy's going to look like.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's true.
Some of the quarterbacks has beat us over the years. I mean,
here's my thing with the Vikings. It's not JJ that I'm worried about, or at least not the quarterback JJ that I'm worried about. It's the other JJ.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, AJ Terrell did great against him. It's about the rest of them.
Yeah. 100%.
It's about the rest of them, man.
Didn't they lose their center? Though? Bradbury, isn't it Bradbury?
Bradbury is somewhere else. I just don't know where.
I don't know what they did. So, but
Patriots should be improved, right? I mean, they got Diggs over there now, and they've tried
They had so much money, they better be improved.
Yeah, they were right. I mean, he had nothing to work with last year.
They'll be better. They'll be a lot better. And I think we match up poorly against them.
I just like that that's a November game and that's not somewhere in December, because that would be a disgusting game to play in Foxborough.
Yeah, definitely. Jets, I mean, we don't know. I mean, Jets, I mean, you're probably going to look at what? I mean, Justin Fields starting. So
that's another one of those games. Yeah.
I mean, we've had success against Justin and we've been beat by him. It's like, I mean, I don't know. I mean, they're going to run. They're going to run the ball. We know that for a fact.
Piss out the football.
Yeah, so that's going to be one of those games too. Good defense, Seattle. Who knows? I mean, if Darnold's playing well, good quarterback. If not, we may see Jalen Milroe in there at the end of the season.
Which would be another time where we have to stop the run.
That's my nightmare, dude. It's like seeing Jalen Milroe getting out of the freaking pocket and taking off down the field. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't want to live that life, man.
I'm so scared.
The Troy Anderson spy. Just teach them all. When I said you got to teach them one thing, just teach them all year. Just how
we got to keep Troy on the field all year long. That's what we got to do. Like, I don't care. Like just stay on the field. Like
that's what we got to teach him.
That's right. Just learn how to be healthy. Damn it. And then Tampa, Arizona. Like, I mean, we know we lost Arizona a few years ago. I think that's going to be a good game. Yeah. Rams should be a pretty good game. I never count out the Rams, man. Especially with Stafford over there and McVay doing. As good a coach as he is, I can't count them out. And like I said, the Saints, I don't know what they're doing. I don't know why they drafted what they did. I don't know what they're doing in the quarterback. But I love it. I love it.
I think the Cardinals game also feels like a must-win.
It does, right?
It does, yeah. I think so.
Like it feels like because you can't very easily we go into the season. The Rams are always good.
Yeah.
On a Monday night, Sean McVay. And then the Saints, Falcons Saints, you just never know what's going to happen. So, I see a world where at Tampa could end up with a loss. Have to win, have to beat Cardinals.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, agreed. So, I mean, Saivion, what kind of range of wins you looking at? You with me with the 9-11 thing, or what are you thinking?
I think that the ceiling, honestly, is 11. I think that's the ceiling. The great thing about it is your normal range, like what I think that they're going to be at, is somewhere in that 8 to 11.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is the floor on this is pretty low.
Right.
At least in my mind. Like I could very easily see this dropping down to like 6.
I mean, it comes down to Penix.
Man.
It comes down to Penix. But that's the thing, though. Penix can look good, but still make those same rookie mistakes that you look at, and it's like.
You say as low as 6, though?
Game.
I don't think, but he didn't really make those last year.
He only had it's a small sample size. Who says that he's not going to be able to do that next? Who said he's going to be able to keep that same consistency next year? If he is, that's great. I'd ever do that.
I wish Mike was there.
Dang, I freaking deserve it. But it's true. It's true. He's still a rookie, essentially.
Yeah, basically he is. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
look,
he's a rookie that can't win Rookie of the Year. That's essentially what he is right now.
You also have to remember too, like you have like was it 3 former NFL quarterbacks on the
Anything is
pitching
possible
staff?
through Christ.
Love you, Mike. Damn it.
But we've got three. No, you're good. We got three NFL quarterbacks or former NFL quarterbacks on that roster, or on the coaching staff, and then you got Kirk Cousins, who's whether you like what we're doing to him or whatever, he shows up and he's gonna. That's just the kind of guy he is. He's the best, the highest paid player coach you've ever had. So.
Yeah.
What highest paid clipboard holder you'll ever see.
Yeah, Kerry, this whole fan base will crash out if we win 6 games. I mean, like Terry will be fired. There'll be all kinds of it won't be a good thing.
Raheem will be fired.
Raheem will be fired. I mean, like it's not. Yeah.
If that happens, is that even fair?
Do you know the worst part about that is it's probably hard to get a coach when you don't have a first round draft pick.
Yeah.
Coach and GM.
So let's not even speak about this. This is just making me upset. No, I don't like it. I prefer to stick in the we're going to have a winning record.
Let's go back to all of the undrafted rookies are going to make
you out of your fucking mind.
Yeah, I got mic drops all day.
I love this.
So anyway, all right, man. Well, look, we'll close now. We're almost at 2 hours, man. So I think we got a lot. We got a lot, man. We got the draft, got the undrafted free agents, we got a little bit of the schedule. So this is fun, man. I really appreciate you guys doing this. We'll have to do it again, and hopefully with Mike. Like I said, we'll be able to be in town, and we couldn't end it out. So we're gonna. Yeah, Kerry, we're gonna have a winning record. Period. We're not ending the show.
Oh yeah, no. We're actually going to go 11-6. Like
we're going 11-6. We're winning the division, and then we're gonna make a run in the playoffs. That's what's gonna happen. That's exactly what's gonna happen.
11-6. 11-6 is not how you say 13-4. So
sorry, my bad.
But yeah, we'll like I said, guys, keep for y'all that came through tonight. Kerry, everybody in the chat, man, we appreciate y'all so much coming through. Like I said, I posted it like 3 hours before we went live, so that was there was no heads up. So we appreciate y'all coming through on Twitter, listening on Twitter too, or watching, whatever. Much appreciated there. I'll probably throw this thing on Spotify too, and the people that listen will probably be like, "What the hell?" There's this episode for the first time in 5 months. But like I said, we'll do this again, man. Like I said, we just wanted to come on and at least, like I said, this exciting off season. This is the first off season that's truly been really like just exciting. And of course, we ended the show in January, so if that's really bad timing on our part. But hey, came back, did this. It was fun, man. You feel free to y'all still subscribe to the channel. Like I said, we're not closing it down. So we're gonna the goal is to come back. That's the hope. We will see if it all works out schedule wise. If not, we'll just keep doing these little pop-up shows from time to time when Thon's available, when Saivion's available, when Big Low's available, whenever all of our friends can get on and have a good time and talk about it. So but
we going to the Super Bowl, mother.
There it is. And that's why we're in the show. So Saivion, tell everybody where they can find you, buddy.
You're probably right there at Saivion Mixson on Twitter. I did start writing at the Falcoholic, so you can find all of my writings there. Yeah, that is where you can find me right now. Oh, Blue Sky as well at Saivion.the Blue Sky thing. It's like
I don't even know what that is.
Blue Sky, like Blue Sky Social. It's very long.
Thon, right there where they can find you, buddy.
Falcons Drip, Instagram, Twitter. I'm gonna actually open some soon. See what happens.
Love it. You broke up a little bit. I hope you came through to Saivion. Could you hear them all?
I heard a little bit of it, but I think you should do it again.
I can't because my internet's already shut me once, so I was just making sure.
No, you're good. Just Instagram, Twitter. And I think we're going to be dropping some merch soon, possibly. So
awesome. Definitely going to pick that up. Yeah. And if y'all want out of your Falcon Mind stuff, look, it's still available. That's if you go look, I'll put it in the link in the description if you want to check it out. You still get hoodies and t-shirts, and they actually have Nike stuff now. So I need to get on there and make some like Nike shirts, and which would be kind of cool. Yeah, I happen to see that, so that would be kind of neat. But anyway, man, we appreciate it. Y'all, thanks so much for the love. Even since we've been off the air, man, it's been great. So We will catch y'all next time. Y'all have a great rest of your week. And until next time, peace.